Hey you guys, okay, welcome back. As promised, I'm gonna go ahead and get this second part video up for you guys regarding micro cheating. Okay, we're gonna jump right into it. I know some of my videos I get off track and we start talking about other things, but this morning I have the entire list for you. It's a list of 22 ways that people mentally and emotionally cheat, or 22 ways that are considered micro cheating, which means mental and emotional cheating, or little bitty ways that people keep their mind and energy not focused on the committed relationship that they're supposed to be having or with their spouse, but on other people, because they either have commitment issues, they have childhood wounds that are not healed, usually it is something very deeply rooted going on in them. Lack of self-worth, lack of self-esteem. Generally, it's not you. It is not the partner. It is not that you aren't good enough. A great deal of the time, it is not their partner. It is them. It is their fears, their phobias, their mother and father issues, their lack of self-worth. And they've been using these tactics probably since they were teenagers, children. And they've gone over the years using these very hidden and secretive tactics of keeping their mind on other people, never fully committing 100% mentally and emotionally, never really being 100% in alignment with themselves. And a lot of them aren't even aware of it. Yes, they know cheating is wrong. Yes, they know keeping themselves distracted and focusing on other people online is wrong if they're in yes, they know the basics of right and wrong. But a lot of these people are so damaged, or they are some wound so deep inside of them from their childhood or early days, and they've been using these tactics to survive, to keep their ego going, to make themselves feel better for so long, since they were children, a lot of them, that they don't even know it's wrong. It doesn't even occur to them to think twice about going ahead and getting married, having a family, living this life with somebody, and still having all of these secretive tactics in the back of their mind. Just carrying on just like normal, like it's no big deal to be having one life, but yet living in this mentality that a lot of the time, yes, they do hide it and keep it a secret. So that would tell you that they know there's something wrong with it, but in their mind, they don't think that's a problem for them to continue doing it and getting away with it enough to change it. So it can get deep and complex, and it can vary from individual to individual. Not every human is the same. All right, so let's get to this list, guys. I have about, I believe it's 22 ways that are considered micro cheating, that are considered inappropriate if you are in a committed, loyal, loving, devoted relationship. And I'm going to put it this way before we get started. I don't give a shit either way, okay? I can be single. I can enjoy myself single. I have things to do. I have a very creative mind. Or I love companionship. It's not every day that I fall head over heels in love. I've had 10, 12, 15-year periods of my life where I could not fall head over heels in love with anybody, where I kept that shit to myself, but I dated people, but I would let them know, hey, I'm not looking to fall in love. I've got my thing here. Because for a long number of years, my heart belonged to one person. And if I couldn't be with that one person, I didn't really want to fall in love with anybody else. And secondly, nobody really came along in those years that did that for me, that I really wanted to connect to in that deep of a way. I was too busy connecting to me. Yes, I took a lot of years to learn to deeply connect to me. I think that's important for you to do first. Because that means later on in life, when you are 35, when you are 40, when you are 45, whatever, and life really starts slowing down and dating is harder, you're not feeling like going out to clubs and bars and crap like that anymore. By the time you're that age, you will be in your center. If you take some time in those years to build a relationship with yourself, if you take a break from dating life for a while, learn to love yourself, read, study, grow, and get really in line with yourself, connected to yourself. Not all of this, I gotta stay numb all the time. Oh my God, I hate the way I feel if I'm left alone. Oh Jesus, I'm bored to death. I'm terrified. I gotta call somebody, anybody. I better just get on this dating site and talk to any old random dude because I'm so terrified to be alone. Let me tell you something. I've had an anxiety disorder all of my life. I know what terror is. I know the terror of being alone. I've walked through it for many years, and a lot of those years on purpose, building a relationship with myself. Now, a lot of times I either had my children around, or after a few days of that lonely shit, I would call up a family member, call up a friend, and I'd go out because that's what's healthy. But I did not avoid learning to be alone, learning to enjoy some solitude. That's the only way you're ever going to learn to really build a relationship with yourself and not have to rely for the rest of your life on just a bunch of random ass strangers and a bunch of random small talk, a bunch of superficial surface connections. And that's as far as it goes with you. That really keeps you going, but it really keeps you from learning yourself too. And you will get to middle age and you still will not be able to deeply, deeply connect to another human being. You still will burn through relationships. You will still be in this flippant, fickle, preferring the company of fickle strangers and people you haven't known very long for some surface banter and small talk. And you will prefer that, and you will still, even in middle age, never having crossed that threshold, never having been brave enough, courageous enough to get over those fears and really get to deeply connect with yourself. Therefore, you can deeply connect with another human being. And you don't have to do that constant, I need one of every variety, somebody, anybody, everybody. Let me tell you something. People who do that are fucking sad, miserable, lonely existences, okay? Those people who don't go through the proper channels to earn their popularity, who don't buckle down and do the work on themselves, first building self-respect, who skip over their whole entire process just to earn popularity from people on the outside, just to get approval from a crowd, just to fit into a crowd, just to feel like the popular guy or the popular chick with the opposite sex. Those kind of people, if you're well trained enough or you have done your work, you can see right through them. They are sad, miserable, scared, vulnerable, and not vulnerable in the right way either. Insecure, and they are not doing the work on themselves. Desperate to fit in and can't stand to be alone for even 5 seconds. And I just think it's sad. So here's what I'm going to say about it though. I don't care either way what y'all do. But what I will tell you is, if you're too immature, and yes, that behavior is emotionally immature. I don't care what you say. I don't care what your little friendship group does and how that's how y'all have always operated that way. It's bullshit. 50-year-olds are doing this shit, man. And it looks so childish. It makes them, their worst fear is looking inferior to people, is feeling insecure like that. But what they don't know is that it's a dead giveaway when you act that way. All of society looks at you like, wow, you really are terrified, aren't you? You really are painfully vulnerable in a toxic way. Wow, you really do feel inferior. You really don't have any self-worth, do you? They don't realize that most people are looking right through them when they act that way, jumping from superficial relationship to superficial relationship. I've got all the girls. I'm so tough. I feel nothing. I don't do that love stuff. I've got all the guys. Those types of people living on the surface like that, who, especially if they are clinging on to someone, claiming to want to be in a devoted marriage or partnership, but yet they are out running around with every member of the opposite sex that they can, stalking them online, mentally and emotionally cheating, micro cheating, like the list we're about to go down. If they are doing that and still trying to have a security blanket of a committed relationship, that is bullshit, and you can see right through them. And it means that they are very, very immature. A part of their brain has not grown. There's lots of ins and outs to it. It is not cool. It is not impressive. It doesn't mean they are the deal. And that's sad because most of them want to feel that way. They want to feel better about themselves, except they're going about it the wrong way. And they're hurting other fucking people along the way to get their ego to feeling better. Instead of doing something positive like, fuck, I don't know, to get my ego up this morning and get myself feeling better, I don't know. I've decided to write this list down for you guys and give something back to the public, something of value. Do something that makes me feel useful, worthwhile, and it helps me to vent some of my own issues and triggers. There you go. But these types of people see it differently. They don't seem to have any time for truly getting on a deep and mature level, expanding their own consciousness, growing emotionally, and giving back, contributing to the collective consciousness or contributing to their friends and family, whatever, in this type of way, in some type of way that will really be of value. No, no, no. What they would rather do is mask it, pretend like they're helping, do this in a real surface way, these real quick interactions of here, I'm going to do this for you, here, I'm going to give you that, here, I can do this for you, look what I can do for you. These little quick interactions, right, that actually it's a bait and switch. Those little things are designed to get you hooked. It's almost like a drug dealer. A lot of times drug dealers will give you a little bit of product because they know that within a few weeks, your ass is going to be hooked and you're going to be coming back for a lot more. And you're going to spend more money with them, more time with them, and it's going to benefit them way more in the end if they give you a little bitty bit right now. That's fucking classic. Those kinds of tactics and shit like that. That's why I don't even know what people motherfucking think they're doing when they come into my life, doing the same fucking things, but only in a psychological way. And I'm thinking, what the fuck is this? Seriously? It's almost insulting to me that they think I'm on some kind of goddamn kindergarten level, that I can't see these tactics, that I can't see these strategies like it's a chess game, that I can't see these psychological plays. It's the same fucking thing. A lot of times really insecure people, really toxic people, they're very manipulative. The ones that feel really insecure inside themselves and they're afraid of being abandoned, they're afraid of love, they're afraid of intimacy and vulnerability, but they really want to trap people and control people, and they want to have someone in their life, but yet they're also going around doing all this mental and emotional cheating and throwing out little webs everywhere and trying to get as many people as they can hooked into them. Okay? This is a big deal, especially with narcissists, with narcissistic abusers and people with that personality disorder. They want to throw out as many hooks as they can and bait as many people as they can, especially of the opposite sex, for future use. That's what it's all about, okay? It's a big, big deal, and I'll make more videos about it. But that's what they do, and they are on this very emotionally immature level, and it is not true and sincere help. It is fake, okay? And a lot of times in their heart, they may want to help other people, but they are really not wanting to do it on the level that will really be altruistic and actually helpful to those people. No, most of the time they are keeping it on a very shallow level that will only benefit them in the end. They will go around giving out a little bit of product, like I said a drug dealer would do. They will go around giving out a little bit of money or a little bit of whatever that person might need that will impress. They will find out what all these different people are about. Oh, this one wants their car fixed. That one likes hot soup. This one needs money. And whatever little bit they can extend to you for a week or two, they will play that role. Then the closer you get to them, you will start to see that shit wasn't real. They don't have it like that. There's something off about this. And if you ever get too close to them, you will see that it was more about getting you hooked so that you could serve their empty ass. Because within a couple weeks, they're not going to have any money. They're not going to have that same attitude of helping you anymore. They're not going to have any of those things they promised you. And all this work is going to fall on you. That's exactly what happens. And for the people that they just keep in their little network and their little web, dozens and dozens of them. The ones that don't get super close to them, but they're just kind of out there and they keep tabs. And every once in a while, they'll give another little bite and a little bit of product to these people, whatever it is. Those people, okay, they are being lied to and coerced and kept on strings and given a little bit of bait here and there because one day this individual may need to go and rely on them, okay? May need to go and use them for something and make the switch. I talk about bait and switch a lot. Eventually, they're casting the bait as long as they need to, keeping these supply systems on backup. That's a whole different target we'll have to talk about one day, is how a narcissist lives with their main supply and then keeps a bunch of people on backup on strings and throws them little pieces of bait for as long as necessary. Bait and switch. Eventually, they will make the switch if they need to. They're not going to work on their fucking problems. If they get thrown out, confronted, they've worn their partner out enough and broken their partner's heart and their partner's tired of it, they're not going to work on themselves. No. They're not going to give a shit about that partner in the end. No. They're just going to go to one of their many little bait systems that they've been keeping on a string for months and years. That's right. That is where we circle back to micro-cheating. Oftentimes, that is what a narcissist does while they're in a committed relationship. They will carry on mental and emotional relationships with people, these little webs, throwing little particles of bait, keeping all these opposite sex people on a string so that if something happens to their main relationship, they can instantly run to one of these backups and sort of make the switch. They will also have a switch in personality. After they've baited you close to them for a while, that personality is going to switch. So it's a very deep subject, guys. All right, I'm sorry. I've gone too long, but let's get into the list if you're still here with me now. So a list of ways that if you're in a damn devoted relationship, if you're not mature enough to be in it, I don't give a damn. That's cool. Then say so. And more power to you, bruh. Go be single. Chick, that's a good life. I lived that life for many years. I highly suggest it, that you get to know yourself and be single, but just be honest about it. Okay? That's what people get pissed off about. Stop holding people hostage emotionally. Stop taking up room in someone else's life knowing that you're not fully there. You're not connecting like they are. You're not giving of your soul 100% to that individual like they are. It is not fair to them. Stop doing that. Either get your ass out there and be single, get your thumb out of your mouth, quit sucking your thumb and holding on to your security blanket for a mommy or a daddy of a partner. Go get you some therapy and get your ass out there and be single like you really want to be, but you've been afraid to be. Or clean up your fucking act and learn how to connect fully with your partner. And you do that and you go deeply and you get the therapy you need and you get the backbone and the spine to really love and accept love from another human being. And you stand for them and you represent them and you cut out all that other little sideline dumb shit bullshit that belongs down there with the fucking 6th and 7th graders. You picking up what I'm putting down? All right, let's move along to the list of things that are inappropriate. If you are in a committed relationship, you should be having your mind on your business, on not necessarily worshiping your one partner every second. I never said that. But you should be having your mind on your business. What is going to be best for you and your unit, which is your partner, your spouse, your children, your home. At all times, you should be working on what is going to be best for that unit, not studying some fickle, dumb bullshit outside of that unit and worrying about what 50 million other little tramps are doing, okay? That's what I'm talking about. All right. Number 1, let's try to get through this list pretty quickly because I know the video is getting long. Okay, micro cheating, ways in which people mentally and emotionally cheat, or inappropriate actions that people do when they're in a committed relationship, when they are low self-esteem, and they shouldn't be doing these damn things. And do not ever let them fool you. Do not ever let them gaslight you, and stop letting them make you feel like you're crazy. That is going to stop. Nobody's crazy. These things are inappropriate. They shouldn't be happening while a person is in a committed relationship. And if they are happening, then I am sorry. I've lived through it. I know the pain, but most likely that person is not mature enough for you. Most likely, if these things are happening, especially more than one of these things at a time, that person is likely not mature enough for you. They are likely not emotionally mature enough. They are likely personality disordered. They are likely childhood trauma. They likely have mother and father wounds. They perhaps addictions, perhaps all of that shit at once. And I know people like that, and I'm sorry. And once you find that out, you can do whatever you want. You can keep sticking with them. You can keep turning the other cheek. You can decide to put up with some of this stuff. It's all going to be about how your heart can take it. I did. I had to overcome a lot of this shit and choose my battles wisely. I had to ask myself, okay, well, what's really important? You're secure enough. You know your love is 100% authentic. And you know that if the person you love is struggling mentally and emotionally, maybe they just need time. You have faith enough in y'all's love and the way he feels for you that you don't have to worry too much about this shit. You're not going to keep buying into, his little game of wanting to make you jealous because it gives him a high. You've already cut that out. You've already busted that out. You quit participating in that. Oh yeah, somebody had me like that for years, reacting because it made them feel like a bigger man. They didn't even want those other girls. They just constantly did a bunch of dumb shit and a bunch of to keep everybody at everybody and everybody fighting over them and everybody arguing about something. Meanwhile, they're sitting back laughing and smirking and having a great time, pulling all those strings. It is they who are the controllers. These covert narcissists, toxic manipulators, and unhealed people. Not us. Not we who are getting rightfully upset and reacting. And yes, it's very normal for you to feel jealous and off balance at that point when your partner's acting that way. But it's we who are having our heads fucked with, and we're no longer going to do that, and we're no longer going to sit in that corner and feel that way. All right, guys. Number 1, your committed partner is doing some of these things, and you're either married to them or you're in a long-term devoted relationship. Secretly messaging people. Anything that's kept a secret. Look, I'm going to get through the list really fast, and then what we're going to do is we're going to come back in a part 3, and we're going to discuss several of these in detail and what that means and what that might look like for your relationship. But let's just go ahead and get through them pretty quickly. Secretly messaging someone. Number 2, meeting someone without your partner knowing. Okay, remember, these are ways of micro cheating. Technically, these are all considered cheating. That's right. And they're very inappropriate for a committed relationship. Number 3, complaining about your partner to another person. Number 4, see, that's why we will need to discuss these in a different video, because there's always an exception. There will always be a balance and a flip side to all of these. Complaining about your partner to another person. If you have not even attempted to confront your partner face to face and given them every chance in the world to privately speak to you on these hurtful matters, then you should not go and talk to anyone else about it first. But if you have given them every chance in the world, that is a different thing. If you have time and time again tried your best to connect to them and could not, that is a different thing. Then you will have to talk to someone else. So just remember, when I read this list, a lot of these will have an exception. That if you're doing some of these out of necessity or in a very positive way, it will always depend on circumstance. But let's carry on through the list that a partner really should not be doing behind the scenes or otherwise when they're in a committed relationship. Number 4, sharing knowing looks behind your partner's back. That means, you know how sometimes we know somebody, or maybe we slept with that person in the past, or maybe we were flirting with them yesterday at the bus stop or whatever, and wink, wink, we might be at a party or a gathering and our partner's with us and we glance over and look at the other person, and that kind of inside connection is a fucking disrespectful no-no. It is so hurtful and so disrespectful. And I pick up on shit like that. I mean, the slightest eyelash blink towards anybody else. And as I got older, I learned to cut all that shit out. I used to act like that as a disrespectful, twisted, traumatized fucking teenager and young woman. I used to act that way. I used to think that smirky, smart ass, I know something. I'm doing things that my partner doesn't know about. I have secrets. Ain't I a big fucking deal? I think that type of thinking is so shitty, so disrespectful, especially when you're older, to do your partner that way. But hey, I've been guilty, man. I was guilty when I was younger. I had to pay the price on a lot of that shit, and I had to learn otherwise. I had to learn better, okay? And I thought, for God's sake, by the time I'm in my 40s, all that'll be done with. I have redeemed myself. I can now really appreciate someone and treat them well, and I won't have to worry about running across immature dudes like that either anymore. I was wrong. All right. Number 5, saying things like, if I weren't in a relationship. All right. So, but remember, sharing that knowing look with somebody. Like, yeah, we have a connection that my partner doesn't know about. Wink, wink. That whole teaming up and that whole energy of emotional connection with another woman or another person outside of your relationship is very inappropriate and very hurtful to your partner. So if you're doing it, grow up. Go to therapy. Do what it takes. Grow up. Stop making your partner feel that way. And don't think that they can't pick up on that energy. Don't think that just because they don't say anything, that they don't notice, okay? So if you're doing that shit to somebody, stop it. And if they're doing it to you, you don't have to put up with that. You don't have to be made to feel tormented like that. And then if you confront them about it and they don't even have the maturity to say they're sorry, that, oh God, I didn't realize I was making you feel that way. I will pay attention to that from here on out. I'm an open book like that. If my partner were to tell me something hurt his feelings or made him uncomfortable, that shit's getting clipped. It's getting clipped right then and there. I don't need anything that bad. And fuck no, it doesn't mean I'm a people pleaser and I'm going to lay down and lick somebody's ass. I'm not a fucking doormat. But I'll tell you one thing, although I stand up for my motherfucking rights and boundaries, if I love my partner, all he has to do is come to me and speak to me openly and honestly like a man and put that vulnerability out there. And if he would do that, I would do anything for him. Even if it seems a little unreasonable, whatever, if he speaks to me in a mature way and it's not a toxic, game-playing, sick, twisted, sadistic turn to control me, but it is actually a genuine feeling that makes him feel uncomfortable, I will break my ass to clip whatever it is that's making him uncomfortable. They're gone, just as good. Nothing, no little bullshit in this world is that important to me, okay? And hopefully I would have a partner that's mature enough to where I wouldn't have to be clipping things like my passions, my job, my creativity, my real good friends, family. No, but little bullshit that I might accidentally do that made him feel a certain way, all that needs to be said. I wish to God that I would have somebody that would talk to me like that would say, just like I do, that would come to me and give me the chance. A lot of these toxic people, afraid people, they don't ever give you the chance. They never talk to you about what they fear, what just hurt their feelings, what you accidentally did. They never communicate that shit with you, and then you end up getting punished. They passive aggressively punish you behind the scenes. They'll just start cheating. They'll just start, fuck her, then I'm going to do this. They'll just start taking little passive aggressive actions against you without ever telling you what you did to make them feel that way, that you didn't know, because they're so used to being manipulated, abused, twisted, fucked with. They've been around twisted ass women, either their early caretakers, mother, stepmother, grandparent, whatever, or their first wives, girlfriends, and vice versa for women too. They're used to being around twisted fuck people, and they haven't worked on any of that stuff, and so they are terrified. They wouldn't know the first thing about coming to you. I know that feeling because I have felt that way before too. It regresses me into feeling like a little child. Oh my God, how am I going to walk up to him and say, hey, it really makes me feel wounded and rejected, and it really makes me feel some type of way when you are, sitting here wink, wink, winking at the person across the room like you know them so well, or, when you do these extra things that seem kind of off, it makes me feel. And that is hard to do. Most of us aren't strong enough. We aren't powerful enough. And in our vulnerability, that we have no shame, that we're going to say, hey man, you have made me feel some type of way, and I need to let you know about it because I want to give you the opportunity to correct it before I leave you, before we are destroyed. I don't want you to be confused as to why I left. I don't want you to be confused and sitting there hurt and confused as to what went wrong in our relationship if I don't give you every chance in the world to know what my problem was, what I was hurting about, and what I gave you every opportunity to change. I gave you every opportunity to know about yourself, to learn about yourself, and to grow. And you chose not to. All right. So I wish to God I would have a partner like that could be that open and that vulnerable. And, motherfuckers want to walk around thinking they're tough and having a fucking backbone. Well, let me tell you something. That's tough. That is admirable. That's dope. Okay? Not being the biggest pimp on the block or attracting all the little roaches. No. I'm going to tell you what's dope is being able to talk like that. Being able to communicate with your partner open and honestly. And being able to give your partner a chance to know what they even did wrong so that they can change it. But too many people are stuck back in childhood and they feel like little kids, and like if they do approach their partner, oh no, I could never be that fucking vulnerable. Fuck her. I won't even talk to her then. Because it makes them feel like the same little child that mom and dad shit on. That either one of their parents either abused or neglected or told them that their fucking feelings didn't matter, or to shut the fuck up and go to their room, or that they weren't good enough, or dry it up, or manipulated them. Oh, you're hurting my feelings. A lot of people grew up with emotionally immature parents, okay? So a lot of times in adulthood, that is why they are so cold. That is why they are putting up this strong-ass hard front. Even in their relationships, when they need to be letting that guard down so that they can form that deeper bond and connection. Not realizing that that is going to fuck them over. That is going to destroy their relationship. that is going to get their ass out in the cold time and time again, bouncing through relationship after relationship after relationship and never being happy. So, let's move along this list, you guys. Oh my God, this video is getting long. I'm probably only going to be able to do half the list in this video, and I'll do the other half in the next video. Okay, let's keep going. Sharing knowing looks behind your partner's back. Saying things like, if I weren't in a relationship, meaning, yeah, flirting. Too much flirting. I don't like it. I don't fucking like it. Maintaining contact with your exes. Number 7, flirtatious joking. Number 8, creating a dating profile. Duh. When you're in a goddamn committed relationship, what do you need to do that for? But we're going to get into this in future videos, the types of people that do shit like this and how weak they are, their weaknesses. Trying to impress someone you have a crush on. That's number 9. Number 10, telling someone you're single when you aren't. Number 11, sending someone photos of yourself. Unless it's your motherfucking mama or your sister or a family member that hadn't seen you in a while, you don't really need to be bothering to send anybody your goddamn photo. Mind your business. Tell them to mind their fucking business and piss off. But a lot of times that's not what happens. People are sitting up on that internet and texting and sending opposite sex pictures of them. Dating sites and what the fuck? Are y'all out of your mind? Number 12, having secret friendships. Anything secret is a no-go. It's inappropriate, it's disrespectful, and you don't have to tolerate it. You really don't have to look the other way and tolerate a lot of this shit that makes you feel second-rate. Because it's not you. I promise you. It's them. It's them. It is they who feel second-rate. And that's why they have to act that way and make everybody else feel second-rate. Okay? So it is your choice whether you want to continue dealing with that person or not. But you don't have to. And if you're the person doing these things, you don't have to keep doing this. You don't have to keep doing that to your partner or to anybody. You can stop it. You can work on that shit and change it. Number 12, having secret friendships. Okay, we said that. Secrets of any kind. Number 13, discussing your intimate desires with someone who's not your partner. Number 14, following inappropriate accounts on social media. Number 15, giving your number to a stranger. Remember, these are all ways of micro-cheating, technically cheating, mental and emotional cheating. 16, stalking or obsessing on your crush online. 17, when developing crushes on people at all. Okay, that's a big one I get into, and I'm going to stop there. We've still got about 6 more to cover. I'm going to do that in the next part. We'll keep going down the list and discussing this list. But even getting crushes on people at all while you are in a committed, loving, relationship, kind of depending on how old you are too, because when we're younger, we do kind of date a bunch of different people, and there's more chance that it's not going to last forever. But when we're older, in our 40s and 50s, especially 30s, late 30s, 40s, 50s, come on, man. Come on. It's time to learn then, for sure, how to really deeply connect to another human being and have something real if you're going to have it on this earth at all. Don't wait. Quit fucking off. Quit wasting time and playing yourself out, because time does finally run out. So, hey, thank you guys for watching. And let me just mention, I am not the author of this list. I got this from the Facebook page called Mind Help, and I want to make sure I credit the people that I get information from. I don't know their name, but the list of micro-cheating tactics comes from the Facebook page called Mind Help, okay? I just thought I would let you guys know that. I have also posted it on my Facebook page for you to read over, and I may make another video and put it in a slideshow so y'all can read it as well. But thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next part, and we are going to go over this list one more time very quickly, and the last 6. Micro-cheating, mental and emotional cheating, okay? And I'm hoping that maybe this can help some people.